Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Easy Learn. And today's topic is algebra, within which we're going to be doing simultaneous equations, also known as systems of equations. And we're going to be doing some practice today. If you haven't watched my systems of equations explanation video yet, pause right here, check the link in the description below, go understand the concept first, and then come back for solving. So today's question is: a museum sells adult tickets or child tickets. Fazia buys 4 adult tickets and 1 child ticket for £120. Semi buys 5 adult tickets and 3 child tickets for £171. Work out the cost of each type of ticket. Now, in order to work out the cost for the tickets, first of all, we need to make sure that we have two equations. And we can, first of all, refer to the quantities. As for the adult tickets, we can call it as A, and for the child tickets, we can call it as C. And now we need to figure out the two equations out of the two statements given. First of all, it says 4 adult tickets, which means 4A, and 1 child ticket, which means 1C, for 120, which means all of those is equal to 120. If I add up the 4A with 1C, I should be getting 120. So I'm going to write down my first equation: 4A plus 1C, also could be written as C, just C, 4A plus C equals 120. Now the second one again, Sumi buys 5 adult tickets, which means I have a 5A here and 3 child tickets, that means 3C, and that equals to 171. So that's my next equation, equation number 2, that is 5A plus 3C equals 171. Now there are three ways of solving this, as discussed earlier, that is substitution, elimination, or graphing. Graphing is mainly used when either you require to draw a graph or when it's harder to figure out using substitution and elimination. But graphing is usually a hectic method, it's longer than the other two, so it's just better that we keep using the substitution or elimination method. Now, for elimination, we need to take care of two steps, that is either the bases have to be same and the signs have to be opposite. But in this particular situation, if I want to go ahead with elimination, I would have to make the same base, because both the A's have a different base. One has a 4 and one has a 5, which means that the bases are not same. Similarly, this one, if I go ahead with C, then there's 1C and there's 3C, which means again that the bases are different. So in order to use elimination, I would have to turn the bases same and also have to turn the signs opposite, which means that it's just again a lot of work, so I'm not going to go ahead with that. But I can use substitution. How? First of all, you need to decide which variable do you want to pick up. If I want to go ahead with A, then it's a 4A and a 5A. Not a good idea, because both the variables have a number attached with that. So for substitution, it's best when you have one of the variables that is mostly empty, that has an invisible one attached with that, so that it just makes it easier to kind of rearrange the whole formula. Now, for the C, if I go ahead with the variable C, in the second equation I have 3C. Again, having a 3C is no doesn't really work well for us, because we have to substitute. We have to rearrange the formula, so the C has to be alone. Now, there's a 3C here. But for the first equation, the C stands alone, which means I can easily use this. I want to rearrange this formula so that C becomes my subject, and what else is attached with the C goes to the other side. Now 4A is attached with the C, so I have to take it to the other side. So I'm going to do C is equal to 4A goes to the other side. It's a positive 4A here. When it goes to the other side, it turns into negative. So C is equal to 120 minus 4A. Now this is my new rearranged version of the equation number 1. Now this equation, I can put it inside my equation number 2. I got to replace the C of the equation number 2 with whatever I have gotten for equation number 1. Because now C is rearranged, I can just replace this 3C with the information right here, which means that 5A plus 3C, so 5A plus 3. Now instead of the C, I'm going to put everything that I have here. So 5A plus 3 times 120 minus 4a, and that is equal to 171. Now, if I open this up, then 5a stays where it is. 3 times 120 should give me 360. So I'm going to write 5a plus 360 minus 3 times 4. Why did I say minus? Because 3 times negative 4 is a negative 12. So 3 times negative 4, negative 12a is equal to 171. Now, if you look here, we have a 5a and a 12a, so that can be added or subtracted together, but there's a 360 here, and it doesn't have any like term here, but it has it on the other side, that is 171, so I can take it to the other side. But there's one thing I have to be careful about. Now, if I do 5a minus 12a, I'm supposed to get minus 7a. So in order to now if I have a negative 7a, I would anyway have to take it to the other side to make it positive. So let me just solve it and then I'll tell you again. Wait. 5a minus 12a gives me minus 7a, and then I have a plus 360 equals a 171. Now, if I have a negative 7a, it's always best practice to take your negative variable and take it to the other side so that the variable always turns into positive, so that you don't mess up the negative signs in the end, because it's mostly, this is a common mistake when people do not make the variables positive. In the end, they perhaps forget that it has a negative sign and they just mess up. So it's just better that you take the negative 7a to the other side and 171 over here with the 360. So 360 stays where it is. When 171 comes to the other side, it's positive here, goes to the other side, turns into negative. So 360 minus 171. And here I had a negative 7a, and if I take the negative 7a to the other side, it turns into positive 7a. So now I have 360 minus 171, that gives me 189 is equal to 7a. Now, if I want to find out my a, I have to take the 7 to the other side. 7 is in multiplication with the a. When it goes to the other side, it turns into division. So 189 divided by 7, let me just do that. 189 divided by 7 is equal to a, and that gives me 27. Now, if I would have not taken negative 7a to the other side and just let it be here, so I'll also tell you that. So if I had a negative 7a here, and if I would do 171 minus 360, I would get the same answer. It would be negative 7a is equal to negative 189, and then I would do a equals negative 189 over negative 7, and negative would anyway cancel off, and again I would get a equals positive 27. But it's just better practice to make your negatives positives earlier itself, so that you don't get confused or mess up the signs. So now my a is equal to 27. Now that I have my a, I gotta put this back in here in my rearranged formula for c to figure out my c. Now my c was equal to 120 minus 4a. Now 120 minus 4, now a means that now I have a value for a that is 27, so I'm just going to put 27 here in the bracket. And what is 4 times 27? It's 108. So I'm just going to write c is equal to 120 minus 108, and 120 minus 108 gives me 12. So c is equal to 12. This basically means that the adult ticket costs £27 and the child ticket costs £12. If you have any questions, any confusions, you can drop them down in the comment section below. This is how you go ahead with simultaneous equations. You form the two equations out of the information given, then you try and work out either substitution or elimination, whichever is easier. Once you have that, once you make any one, when you select a method, and then when you make C the subject, you have to put it in the second equation, figure out the value for a, and then you put in the value back into the c equation and get your c. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching Easy Learn, and not forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Thank you.